Joe.
How we doing today, Johnny?
I'm
Boy.
doing all right. I'm gonna try to be serious
Why?
in this podcast.
Yeah, well, we got some serious stuff to talk about, I guess.
Because I think people think I just joke around and don't take anything serious.
You are a silly bastard, but...
No, but I'm very serious. That's why I joke around so much.
Yeah, I know. But that's what we do. That's why we get along so well.
Yes.
You can't be too serious because then life is just a complete misery.
That's quite true.
No whispering. Speak up.
Was that a whisper?
It's the only time you ever whisper is when you're on the podcast. I don't understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to try to be serious. I want to, because this is what's going on in the world. It's just very, it's disturbing, Joanne. It's very disturbing.
Well, lately things have taken an ugly turn. That's for sure.
Yeah. Why'd you look at me when you said ugly?
You're very handsome, Johnny.
Yeah. People don't know that, though.
I know.
I don't show my face.
Well, we got to start. We probably got to move up to that next level.
Again, I told you I was being serious, right?
Yeah.
I want to be liked, loved for my personality.
Not just your good looks?
No. Because if I throw my face out there, it's just like instant love, and they're not going to listen to anything I say. No, I'm only kidding.
Wow.
Goofy bastard.
Really?
I'm joking, please. You know me.
You have your moments. You get a little cocky.
I'm a little cocky. Not with my looks, though.
Sometimes.
I don't.
You do your Zoolander.
Oh,
your Blue Steel.
But I don't know. I've never looked in a mirror and it's like, all right, never.
No. Me either. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those selfie people.
I was never like growing up. I was never like. I've never got like a double look from a girl.
Well, that's not true.
No, it is. Never got a. Only when I stole the purse. Like no. Well, let's start over.
No, we're fine.
Okay. You remember when I said I was gonna try to be serious?
Yes.
I wasn't serious about that.
Thank God.
Hello.
This is getting depressing.
Yeah,
You and your insecurities.
Oh, I don't. Do I? I have a lot of insecurities.
Yeah. Well, I do too. I mean, in my family, my oldest sister was the pretty one, and my middle sister was the smart one, and I was the crazy weird one.
I'm nothing against your sisters, because I love them both. But I think you were the pretty one.
Oh, aren't you sweet? Well, thank you. It was never really my thing, but...
Yeah. So, what do you want to talk about today? There's so much shit going on. I'm a little blown away. We'll get to Jimmy Dore a little later.
That was crazy.
Wow. And then not to mention the other thing with Bobby Lee.
Oh, Bobby... broke my heart, Bobby.
Yeah, you loved that guy.
I loved Bobby Lee for so many years.
Don't cry, little girl.
Oh, God. That's even worse now in the context.
So, but first, this thing with Twitter going on, Elon was buying it, he's not buying it. What is he doing? Is he just trying to, put them on blast?
I think that he was exposing them. I think this whole process was just a way to expose that Twitter is mostly fake accounts and bots and paid shills who are just on there to try to shape the public narrative.
Right.
And it's just an arm of the fucking deep state.
Wait, hold on, though. I have about 5 accounts. But
I know, because they keep banning you.
Exactly. Exactly. During the purge, is that right? Well, first of all, how could we forget? They deleted the President of the United States Twitter account.
Insane.
Can you fucking believe that?
And every other terrorist group is still on there. Oh,
yeah.
All the child traffickers are still on there, using it as their fucking
I could watch a beheading on Twitter, but I can't see my president.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how they got away with it in the first place.
Well, maybe they were bots.
Trump says to Elon, thanks for the offer of letting me back on, but I have no interest. And I don't
I
blame
don't
him.
blame him. I don't
Fuck it.
blame him. You know,
I don't go on there much
I
myself.
love I love how a couple years ago when they were silencing anyone, and I'm not just saying Republican or conservative, just anybody that didn't agree with the left,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then it was about, well, Twitter. You heard all the news, CNN.
Uh-huh.
Well, Twitter's a private company, and they could,
Yeah.
they could do whatever they want. Now, with
Mm-hmm.
the Elon Musk buyout, or supposedly, the left is going crazy on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's trying to kill free speech. Fuck you, man.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if you saw it, the whole thing, but Project Veritas came out with another
PV.
new whistleblower video last night.
I don't know how to whistle. I wish I knew how to whistle. Go ahead.
A Twitter staff member, I think it was an engineer or something, saying how he came right out and said, "We're all commie as fuck." Now,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, who even says that? But he was serious. And
well, it's a badge of honor today for some reason,
for them,
for the left,
freaks.
for the progressives. It's like, back in the 50s, whatever, you got blacklisted for even, being looked at as a communist. Today, it's like a badge of honor. It's like.
Well, I remember in one of our earlier episodes,
No free speech
earliest, back in the days, Khrushchev came right out and said, "We're bringing communism to America, and it's going to come through your children." And they fucking did it. They took over our education system, and they just, brainwashed these kids into thinking that communism works, and it never has, and it never will.
I'm bringing commie back. Yeah, was that Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, I'm sure he's one too.
Oh yeah, those girls.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's kind of crazy, and I don't even know why I'm on Twitter. I got 6 followers, and they're my 5 other accounts.
I know. But
I follow myself. Just
I think Twitter might be taking its last gasp. Yep.
Pretty amazing.
I mean, let's face it. They've with all of these fake accounts, they've defrauded their advertisers. Advertisers think that they're getting this for their money when they're not. When they're getting that,
exactly.
They defrauded the SEC. The
car was supposed to be fully loaded.
Yeah. Right. They defrauded the SEC because they claimed that only 5% of their accounts were fake or bots. When it turns out, even Elon Musk said in his research, it turns out there's 20%, and he says he thinks that there's even more fake accounts than 20%. That's a huge amount. So I don't know the legalities of all that, but it's very serious. When you lie to the SEC, you lie to your shareholders, you lie to your advertisers, it's a major case of fraud. So maybe that's what all of this was about to begin with. Maybe he didn't even plan on buying it. He just wanted to turn the screws on him. I don't know.
Yeah, like it's
fine.
It's kind of like maybe he was sitting around, with a couple of his friends and stuff like that, and they were talking about how Twitter, and he was being the free speech and all that. And so, it's funny. You should buy it. You should buy Twitter.
Yeah, well, he was talking to the Babylon Bee. They're the ones that helped him make the decision, so he said. Yeah. But that reminds me, I saw the other day that Elon's ex-partner, Peter Thiel, however you pronounce his name, I don't know if it's Thiel or Teal, I think it's Teal.
PayPal guy?
Yeah, PayPal guy. Said that he wants to put together a group of, and I would believe it would be conservatives because he is, to buy Disney.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the thing they right. Okay, I'm starting to see the pattern here.
Uh-huh. So they're, this is how they're exposing people.
It's kind of like when you want to buy a house, a real estate, you got to go in, you got to look at all the rooms, and you know what I'm saying? And you want to know everything that's in the house and what's going on. Was there any, damage,
Uh
water
huh.
damage, or what is this, and is this real? And
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then it's put out
Exactly. Plus, not to mention the fact that
there.
Disney, their stock is tanked. They lost like,
Oh, I hate that place.
I know, they're so evil. But
It's not even that. Before I even knew they were evil, I just always hated
I
it. I
always
don't know
did
why.
too. I've never been a fan.
Never.
It's just I don't know. I just think they're really gross on many levels. But
It's like I think we talked about this before. Growing up, I don't ever remember ever as a kid wanting to go to Disneyland. Never. Like
no,
that. You ever?
kids are brainwashed into it now. The brainwashing hadn't taken effect yet. The
Mm,
Orlando Disney was it Disney World here, and it's Disneyland in
mm.
California. The Orlando park wasn't even created until what 1968.
That's
So
the year. Oh, anyway, forget that. That was a good year,
yeah, but the
maybe.
brainwashing hadn't taken effect on our generation yet.
Yeah,
It
but
was just starting.
I'm just wanted to go back. I wanted to go back to this. It's just like you remember when you were like a kid. I remember. I don't know. I know you lived like in the woods or something. I don't know.
Basically,
Yeah, you lived like in a shack.
farmland.
But I was born in Brooklyn, and I remember like you ever like. Let me go back. I'm starting to feel it here. Like you're standing outside, and you heard your neighbors are going to like Florida for vacation or Disneyland and stuff like that,
Hmm.
and that a couple of days in advances, and then all of a sudden one morning you hear some rumbling outside, and you look out the window and you see them all packing the car, and all
Yeah.
with the smiles on their faces, all excited about going, and you're just sitting there and go, "Can I come?" No, you
That's
know what I
so
mean? It's like
sad.
I know I used to like I was up against the window. You know what I mean? Is looking out the window and seeing them pack and having so much
Yeah,
fun.
that
And
that never happened in my world.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I know we went to Action Park. That's where I wanted to go all the time. We
Yeah.
talked about this,
Yeah. I don't know if we ever posted
I
that.
don't know, but the
It was
documentary
so
is
good.
so spot on. I mean,
Crazy.
it was crazy, man. It was like it was so dangerous, but we didn't care.
Kids
We
died
were
there all the
kids.
time and nobody
All
did
the
anything.
listen,
Everybody
you
kept
know how
going.
many times I went? I went with like 5 friends and came back with 3. I mean, but it was great. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm gonna miss
Jesus.
Sal, but goddamn, the race cars. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
No, but seriously, it was bad. It was like people. You always saw like ambulances around and paramedics running by, and you hear the bones cracking. You know what I
You
mean?
took your chances in
It
life
was
back
really
then.
fun, and we grew
We
up.
rode we rode around, 10 kids in the back of a pickup truck on dirt roads going 60 miles an hour. We
What?
never thought
What?
anything of it.
We'll be driving.
Oh, what I'm talking about in pickup trucks.
Oh, yeah, wood stuff.
We
Like,
were hicks.
yeah, you
We
know,
were drinking kegs of beer in the woods when I was like 12. So it's a
I
different
thought I
world.
knew you.
Oh,
You
you
know,
have no idea.
you want to know? I'm going to tell you. You know what we did as kids? And again, what's that cat? I'm not. It's not in a bragging way or anything like that, but we had we used to climb roofs,
Roofs.
roofs, and across the street was a school, and they had portables and stuff like that. And then next door was this giant factory and stuff like that. And we used to climb all the buildings around the neighborhood. And what we would do, you think about cops. You don't want the cops to find out. We would have someone call the cops on us. So
Psychos.
when the cops come after us and chase us, we could jump roofs and get away. That's what kind of fun we had, you know?
Such a criminal.
I don't know. Well, we didn't think about it like it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that.
There are people out getting robbed and mugged and raped and murdered,
Well,
and you're calling the cops so that you can get
oh, I didn't
chased?
think about it like
Yeah,
that. But
wow.
and then there was this one time we were all on a roof. I'll never forget. There was a little shack on top of a roof. It was right next door to my house, and we kind of jimmied ourselves in there, and it was a furniture factory.
Mm.
And I know we're off topic, but
It's all right.
I remember there was like these giant barrels of glue,
Oh, Jesus.
you know, and oh yeah, and we used to huff it.
I'm not surprised. It explains
Yeah,
a
it was
lot.
horrible. I used to get sick, but man, it was some fucking. And I remember we were huffing it, and then you would like I can't remember. You just get so fucked up, and then we were go climbing on the roofs, and my friend Tommy fell through a skylight. Yeah, and it was funny because his last name begins with an L, and I'll never forget. He used to was real proud because the stitches on his palm. Because when he fell down, he grabbed onto like glass or steel or whatever,
Uh,
and it ripped like a L shape. And
wow.
yeah, and he used to go,
Cool.
yeah. So
How did
things
I end
like
up with
that.
you?
I don't know, but you know what? That's how we grew up. It was just like it was rough, and I was just watching a video with Bill Maher, who I used to love, and
I know.
but he was talking about the childhood and
Oh,
how
yeah.
it was like I was out. We lived on a block. I was like I remember being like 8 and being outside at 1 in the morning.
Wow.
Three
Baby.
in the yeah, baby. What are you doing on that corner? No, but I'm saying there was never a worry, and everybody on the block knew you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I
And
grew up
everybody kind of
in the same, well, everybody on my block were cousins of
You didn't have
mine.
blocks in the woods. Come on.
No, I didn't really live in the woods. It was a small town, but it wasn't the woods. But everybody on my street was related to me, and we were out all the time. Yeah, please don't get into it.
Lord. Oh my God. I thought that was a myth.
No, it's true.
Okay.
We didn't all live in the same house, but
Mm.
yeah, but we were out playing kickball in the street, and
Kick the can.
being kids, and nobody
Mm.
does that anymore. It's sad.
I'm laughing, but I was making fun of you. But I lived like that in South Brooklyn, where I was talking about we climb roofs. 2 doors from me was my aunt Linda. Upstairs from her was my aunt Lorraine, my godmother. Right next door to them was my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and then right around the corner was my aunt Rosie with my cousin Sal, and I remember.
See? I think it's an Italian thing.
Well, that neighborhood was
Cluster.
really like tight. Everybody, and not to mention a couple of doors down from me, the Russos lived there. I remember Chicky Russo.
Yeah.
Yeah, just think
Probably
about.
don't need to use any names.
You think he's way gone? But
I know, but they all have family.
He was. Yeah, they're gonna listen to this.
Yeah, true.
Probably. Yeah, but he used to like take all the kids in the neighborhood out to eat, and we grew up, and I remember we used to have block parties. It was so much fun, and but it was rough.
The mafia knew how to have a good time back then. They looked out for the kids, and
all right. You remember how you just kind of came down on me for calling the cops when they had better things to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're really gonna get mad at me.
Oh boy.
Do you know what we used to do? We had a schoolyard right across the street from us, and it was a sunken schoolyard, and it was like tradition every year. Remember, right after are you okay with this?
Yeah.
Right after New Year's, because that's when everybody took their trees down, their real trees. I mean,
Yeah.
and they used to throw them outside and stuff.
Uh-huh.
We used to scour. Is that the word?
Yeah.
We used to scour the neighborhoods. It was President Street and Union Street, and all my friends, we lived, we all used to go around the whole neighborhood and drag Christmas trees into the middle of the schoolyard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, pile them all up, and then set them on fire. You know why? I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
So when the fire department comes and has to put it all out, the water used to go about 2-3 inches high, and it was so cold that it would freeze, and then we would go ice skating. That's how we used to ice skate.
So you were really not arsonists; you were neighborhood developers.
Exactly.
I got you. I have to think that a large ice skating rink would probably bring property values up.
Well, it's weird. I remember we used to and then go sliding all around, and not everybody had. Don't get me wrong, nobody had ice skates. You know what I mean? I had like I used to like I glue like never mind. But yeah, that's what we used to do. Ice skating by arson, we used to call it.
Wow.
Yeah,
The good old days.
fun days. Well, anyway, speaking of Disney, yeah. Well,
Well, yeah,
why did you just grab my knee?
it was an accident.
Oh,
Um,
I thought you were trying to tell me to shut up.
no, back to the Disney thing. Yeah, then I saw an
By the way,
article
that wasn't my knee.
today.
Oh well, go ahead.
About Disney's moving their headquarters from California to Orlando, which I'm shocked about. They're still planning on doing it. Within the next 2 years. It's going to happen, even though DeSantis is coming down hard on them. I guess they're still going through with it. But anyway, so I'm reading this article, and there's a quote by some guy, one of the developers, and he turns out to be from Tavistock Development. And then, I was telling you, Tavistock is here.
Isn't that
Go
in
into
Tuscany?
conspiracy mode. No, they're responsible for rock and roll itself.
Oh.
Rock and roll was created by this think tank to undermine generations of us. We talked about this before, I think. To build the sex, drugs, and rock and roll generation. Grooming, yes. To like destroy the entire youth population, to get us all hooked on drugs and dropping out of society.
Well, it worked.
The whole thing was orchestrated right from the Beatles. It was all put together on purpose to drag us down, to make us weak.
Dude, were the Beatles in on it, or were they
they were all in on it.
No.
They all are, and they still are.
You mean John Lennon, George Harrison, Ringo Starr, and the two
Paul
Pauls?
McCartney. Yeah, the two Pauls, exactly.
Really?
I'm telling you.
So David Chapman, is that the one that killed John
Mark
Lennon?
David Chapman, yes.
So, okay.
Yeah. Don't get me going on that. That's a whole nother story. But around it, all of it connects to each other. But yeah, so I found that interesting. It's just like
we're living in a simulated world.
We really are. Everything is orchestrated. Nothing happens by accident. And if something does happen by accident,
Who is the conductor, though?
Well,
just wipe my spit off the table.
Klaus Schwab is we haven't talked about that, and I've been wanting to, because I didn't even really know the extent of his impact and his power from the beginning. When we started this podcast, I remember telling Alex about George Soros,
right,
and how much I know, I just belched. I'm sorry. It was an accident.
You could have blamed it on me. I would have taken it in. But yeah, go ahead.
And how much influence he has on the left and pulling the strings on all of these BLM organizations and all this stuff is all bought and paid for by this guy. But meanwhile, there's Klaus Schwab, the head of the World Economic Forum, who?
Who?
Yeah, and that. That's another thing we got to talk about. But he's even worse.
George Soros turns out to be more like a private, and then you got the general.
Yeah.
Is Schwab.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that he's just another, figurehead for an even darker, more powerful Rothschilds and Rockefellers and all of them.
Mulak.
But speaking of which, this is, every once in a while I feel like, why are we doing this still? We started out just kind of like waking Alex up and everything.
We got nothing else to do. Really?
Well, that too. I mean, we have fun doing this, and I love it. But today, one of my Facebook friends, I posted yesterday about a picture of the cremation of care ceremony at
Mm,
Bohemian Grove,
mm,
and it didn't say anything about it. It was just like, kind of vague. And, this guy says to me, "What is this and how do I research it?" And I said, "Yes, what
nice.
I do makes a difference here and there, And you never know who hasn't ever heard of this stuff and who you're, really, making them see what the world is really like." So, I explained it to him. I showed him, I told him about, how Alex Jones was the first one to get in there from the outside. And, um, you know, it matters. People need to know
People
what
need
these fucks are
to.
doing.
People really need to look into that.
Can't be so naive.
Think about it, Joanne. They have this gathering here. Okay, sorry. They have this gathering of like all the power brokers of the world meet
Mm-hmm.
there and stuff like that. Then they have this ceremony
Mm-hmm.
of like
Yes.
sacrificial of.
They say they're burning a child in effigy,
But
that
even
it's
that,
not really a real child, but regardless,
and
and a giant stone owl that they worship, Moloch. What the fuck is going on? They wear these robes. They got
and there's nothing to
fire.
see there.
It's
And
just
then
fun.
what was it? What were we
Good, clean
watching?
fun.
Was it Alex Jones? And when they showed, they were like people that worked there. It was like fucking like Action Park.
Yeah, it was there. It's
You know what I mean?
Disneyland.
They got workers there,
Mhm.
and they got to sign like these contracts that they cannot speak of anything
Yep.
that goes on in there.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why can't you speak? And these people, like, how do they work there? Like,
People
is it
will
that?
do anything for money. That's the saddest thing. We're all complicit in this because we all let it go. We all turn a blind eye. We all are so concerned about how we're going to make a living and put food on the table, which, granted, these are valid concerns. But we've let them get away with so much for so long. I don't know how we
Yeah,
stop
but
it at this
now let
point.
me ask you something. Is this something of progression? Because it's like when you're struggling in life, it's kind of you look that way and you're like, my God, these people are evil. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? But then once, like, if you make it,
Mm-hmm.
like, become very famous and powerful, not powerful, and super rich,
Uh-huh.
do you like? Do you become that?
They make you an offer you can't refuse, one way or another.
Because put it this way, I'm over here sick and disgusted over this whole Moloch, and then not to mention the what they're talking about, the abortion, and
Mm-hmm.
and it's sick. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But if this podcast makes it and we get super famous, will I go to the Bohemian Grove?
You probably will. I won't.
I'm like, I got the baby. Am I gonna do? I don't want to do it.
Well, it's all about which way is your moral compass pointing,
No,
and do you even
that's
have
not
one?
me. I'm not like that. I can never do that. No matter how rich and famous.
No, I'm used to being
I'm gonna
poor.
say
I'm
no
okay
to
with
the Illuminati. No, I don't want it. I don't care what they offer. I don't want it.
Well, when somebody famous disappears and you never see him again,
Uh-oh.
I believe a lot of times that's what happens. They get that offer to be initiated into the big club, and they take the other choice, and they're like,
Let me tell you
enough
something.
of this shit.
If it was down to us, how we are right now, trying to get this thing going to like super famous and part of the Illuminati and stuff, I would rather sit here, two listeners,
Mm-hmm.
which is usually us.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I love it. We keep rewatching and rewatching. And we're like, oh my God, we had 30 listeners. They're like, yeah, we've been looking at it all day and listening to. No, that's not true.
Stop.
I'm just joking. You got to kind of be humble. I know.
Yeah.
But no, I don't want anything. Look at Katy Perry.
Oh yeah.
She is like this. What happened to her? She's like
she
was like queen of the Illuminati.
Fully.
And now
now she dropped out.
Yeah,
now she's living in Kentucky,
screaming in the house. even know what that meant. But yeah, she's
Bet
like,
she is.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect example.
Who's the new
though.
one now? Who's like Madonna? She just won't let go.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, let go, lady.
She is terrifying on so many levels.
Like
What
she keeps showing up.
monstrosity.
She keeps showing up at the Illuminati office. She's like, they're like, go away. She's like, I got a new song. I took a bath in milk.
She did some
Madonna,
video. I just saw her do some video where something about she's naked and has given birth to centipedes.
Oh my
God. Yeah.
Maybe that was real. Have you seen the people she slept with? Yeah.
Oh God.
She's no virgin.
They're so gross.
I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but you know what? Let's get into this, Joe. Oh my God, I'm blown away. We only caught like the last 90. By the way, that thing flashing over there, I'm gonna have a fucking seizure.
Oh God.
Oh God, not another one.
Go ahead.
And then could you shut this light off?
Oh God.
This fucking light up here. It's like I feel like I'm in an operating room. Oh, I can't get.
Just talk. I'll turn it off.
I need.
Jesus.
You can't
Christ,
get good workers. Oh, geez, don't get mad. I'm only playing.
You gotta do that in the middle of this? All right, go ahead.
Well, it's life. I think that's what's important.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear that. What were you gonna talk about?
Jimmy Dorn.
Oh, Jimmy Dore.
Oh my God!
Stop calling him Jimmy Dorn. It makes me crazy.
Oh man, you are pissed off today.
All right.
Jimmy Dore, right? Dorn?
Mm-hmm. Dore. D-O-R-E.
Okay. We watched. He supposedly had like 4-hour live show, and I think we caught like the last 90 minutes of it.
Mm-hmm.
And my God,
he went off.
What was that all about?
Now, Jimmy Dore used to be a huge progressive Bernie guy, and we were too.
Mm-hmm.
We're honest about that. And that's when we started paying attention to him. But now he's flipped just like we did. He literally called Bill Gates a pedophile several times last night.
Yeah, and like meant it. He kind of went back on it a little bit at first, and then he's. Oh yeah, he.
I know he tried to.
I think he realized what he said, but he went full blast on that, and not only that he went off on. I mean, we needed him 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and stuff like that. He won't come out and say Trump was a good president. Because he'll probably lose half of his audience. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he pretty much said yesterday that everything the Democrats said Trump would do to destroy this country, Biden's doing it.
Yep.
And
now.
Right.
And that Trump was the president of peace.
Of peace. No wars. That. Yes, exactly. And he's big on that. And he even said, which blew my mind too, because I haven't heard anybody, quite, I mean, he's quite that famous and known, calling the Ukraine-Russian thing
total bullshit. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. The money laundering for the Biden family yet once again.
Nazis.
Yeah, card-carrying Nazis, these people, they wear the Nazi emblems on their freaking uniforms.
Yeah,
and we're sending them $40 billion.
Right.
What does that make us?
But there's no formula for the babies.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Oh, it's crazy. I think he just finally sees it all and couldn't hold back. And one of the things that he was most outspoken about last night was the way that everybody's rolling over and allowing the World Health Organization to take over everything and on the guise of a pandemic. If a pandemic happens again, they have total world authority to lock down the entire planet, to do whatever they think is right and override every other country's government without any oversight.
Well,
and this is being passed through and agreed upon by the majority of the world right now. And nobody's talking about it. and it's it's like the last nail in the
Isn't
coffin
that
for sovereignty of governments.
exactly? So basically, what you're describing here is one world government,
Yes, this is the final chess piece,
and people
final move, and people are just oblivious to it because they can't feed their babies. This is everything is set in motion on
distractions.
purpose to
Exactly.
to keep us desperate and scared so that we let them do whatever they want. And this goes back to the fucking Tavistock thing I was talking about, to Klaus Schwab and this World Economic Forum and his little puppets that he's put in control of all of these governments,
Mm-hmm.
including the Ukraine,
New
including
Zealand.
New Zealand.
That
That
fucking
was
crow.
that's horrible. The Obama was installed. I mean, think back to when Obama ran for the first time. Nobody knew who the hell he was. He was a new senator. He all of his
He just
college
popped up.
yeah, all of his college records were sealed.
What?
What is this?
Unreal.
He comes out of nowhere. Oh, but he's black and we love him. And Joe Biden says, "Oh, he's clean and he's well spoken."
Yeah.
How racist can you get? And then they made him the vice president. I don't know. It's just crazy.
This is just like Kamala Harris. Remember during the debates when she turned to
Yeah.
Joe and said, "There was a young black girl who was a little girl, and I had to get on a bus, and I had to go. And you're a racist, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
You're a racist. That was your policy.
Yeah.
You want to be my vice president? Okay.
Yep.
Give me a break."
It's disgusting how they sell out so
my
fast.
God.
It's very frustrating.
I don't get it. But and then this. I mean, we went to sleep. I posted the Jimmy Dore YouTube the his show on my Facebook, and I woke up to friend Michael commenting that the video went private. He put it into private, and I clicked on it, and it says it's video is private, basically. I'm sorry.
Well, he's probably scared for his life now.
And then I clicked on it again, and it says video unavailable. Video unavailable.
It's totally taken down.
Somebody go check on Jimmy.
Yeah, wow.
Because
probably YouTube took it down. They're not.
Well, that's what I think.
They'll ban him altogether.
Yeah, well, didn't I say that?
They banned us for less.
Didn't I say that last night? I said I think Jimmy's gonna go. I think YouTube's gonna take him down. And if you remember last night, excuse me, he kind of was going off. I know it, and then he stormed off. He's kind of like, and you said it was kind of, he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, one of his eyes was really red and teary throughout the whole thing, and he was having problems with it.
Which he says the vaccine did.
Yeah,
to him.
Yeah, he had a lot of really bad side effects after the vaccine.
Yeah,
and people gave him hell. Coming out and talking about it.
Listen, I took this needle and this would happen. How dare you say that? You know what I mean? They don't say that when you go to the therapist or the psychologist and whatever the hell, they give you a pill and you go, I got diarrhea. Nobody comes down on you. You know?
Well, that's not part of the narrative, so you better keep your mouth shut and suffer.
Unbelievable what's going on. But yeah, that kind of blew my mind. And
yeah, my jaw dropped. I never heard him talk like that. Well, I knew once he started going on Tucker once in a while, I knew he was fully flipped. But last night he said things Tucker wouldn't dare to say.
Yeah.
And neither anybody on
and like
Fox
I
News.
said, we watched him because I remember he when he was the Bernie guy, and then he's spitting Alex Jones' face. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I forgot about
whatever.
that.
But he was a Bernie guy, and really when if I remember, he didn't like Trump at all in the beginning, and he just went after him, just like Bill Maher did and everybody else. But I mean, you can't deny it, and I think we were Democrats. I don't think we were Democrats, but I kind of,
Yeah, no, we were liberal.
You kind of, when you open your eyes and you kind of really take a good look, I can't just say I don't care. Take a turn a blind eye. This is who I support, and
Vote blue no matter
I
who. That's
can't.
when I officially turned. When I
Like,
heard
how
that
dare
vote blue
you
no matter who, that is just
vote
begging
blue no
everyone to
matter
be as
what?
ignorant as
Yeah, no matter
possible.
what
Uh
we
huh.
do, just keep voting for
Exactly.
us.
Yep.
How dare they, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate.
Sick.
They really need to get flushed out. But
Mm.
we were watching we were watching Glenn Beck. You fell asleep, but I kept continuing to watch. And what's that guy's name?
Jesse
Jesse.
Kelly.
Yeah, he was on in. He was talking about it, and he made good points. The reason why the Democrats are in the position that they are, is because it didn't happen last night.
Mm-hmm.
This is going back decades and decades,
Oh yeah.
starting from state, right? State. What am I saying? Um, oh, I can't. I just lost my train of thought. But basically, he was saying that this is something they were teaching in schools for decades,
Mm-hmm.
putting people in place in the board of education who have the same ideology, people in every aspect of culture, basically,
Yeah, they
to
took over our
infiltrate.
culture.
And this is why the majority of colleges, the kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I think they mean well, but they just don't understand that they were groomed
Mm-hmm.
into basically being taught to hate America.
Yeah,
And we
that is so
we
sad
were
too.
we I never hated America, but I remember kind of being on a thing like, when we kind of leaned left or whatever else like that.
Mm.
We were always kind of like, we were kind of bad country, and we did this and that and slavery and everything, but whatever. But these kids are being taught now. What it is nobody talks about ending slavery. I mean, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what before we were, and I'm sure
But
racism
slavery
still.
was all over the
Right,
world.
exactly.
Everybody did it.
But what I'm trying to
It was
say
in the
is
Bible. We're the ones that put an end to it, and they don't want to give us
exactly.
credit for it.
Well, not only credit, just look at the fact that it was done and go from there. I mean,
Right.
you can't, I can't blame my father for something he did
Mm-hmm.
when I wasn't born.
Right.
I can't, I can't. I wasn't there. I wasn't around.
But you can commit yourself to not doing what he did and being a
Exactly.
better person, and that's what our country is trying to do.
Right.
And that's what they won't allow. And they call themselves progressives, but it's the opposite.
You know what? I
They
like
are
that.
regressives because they won't allow us to grow and celebrate how we've grown. They want to keep bullying us for stuff that had nothing to do with our generation.
But I like them. They are progressives. You know why? Progress. They are a cancer. They're a cancer.
When you look at it that way, yeah.
Yes, that's progressing
Mm-hmm.
on the country. And America's like the last stand, if you really think about it. Canada's gone.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
care what anybody says. I remember growing up, everybody's like, "Oh, Canada's the greatest country in the world," and no, that's what happened. They were taken over, just like New Zealand.
Yep.
And you know what, Joanne? People laugh. When we used to talk, when said the free speech is being taken away, they oh, stop. And then the guns, they're coming for your guns. What do? Ha, you're crazy. Come on. And that's what they do. They call you crazy, and it happens.
Yep.
Okay, so the machine guns are gone. What's the difference between 20 people getting killed and 8? It's all horrible. Do you understand what I mean?
But they want to take away the revolvers too, and
Well,
it
yeah,
makes
but
no
that's the
sense
point I'm
because
trying to
any
make.
criminal who wants to get a gun doesn't give a fuck if it's legal or not.
Right, but that's the point I'm trying to make here, is the fact that, you know what I mean? What's the difference if you went in and killed one kid with a fucking zip gun or a fucking machine gun and killed 10? I mean, where's it end? Kind of like, what are you going to...
They don't care about the kids.
No, of course
what they care
not.
about is they want to disarm us and make us as weak as possible so they can do whatever they want and they don't have to worry about any of us rising up. It's the reason that
Exactly.
the original founders of this country said Americans not only should be armed, but they should never have any encumbrance on that right.
I'm going to break it down in layman's term, kind of like, okay, 2 guys are scouring the neighborhood, right? They know the neighborhood, right? They're like, that house over there, I would like to break into, but that guy has a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That house over there, they don't like guns. They don't have guns.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which one are they going to pick to?
Exactly.
Exactly. So it comes down
Path
to
of
that.
least resistance.
Weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Weakness. You know, people pick on the weak.
Yeah.
You know, even people, even let's say, you know, people out in the street looking to rob somebody, they're never going to go for the person that thinks that might put up a fight.
Right.
You know. Anyway, Joe. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, so Jimmy Dore, we're gonna keep an
Oh
eye on
yeah.
him, see what the hell happens there. That was really incredible, and if anybody is able to find a copy of that episode from last night, please watch it. It was amazing.
Okay. You ready for this? You thought that was crazy?
Oh,
Papili.
Bobby.
Papili.
A big scandal
What?
going
I
on.
don't.
We happen
Is it a
to
scandal?
watch. Well, it is to me. We happened to watch Tiger Belly
No.
yesterday, and he had Brendan Schaub.
Wob, whatever.
Yeah, another podcaster. I think he was
MMA fighter.
Yeah,
Joe Rogan friend.
Yeah, big Joe Rogan buddy. They have beef going on, and it's really weird, and it was hard for me to follow. I don't really understand the depth of it, but it's a big thing. Apparently, Bobby.
Well, don't even get there yet. Let me set it up because I know a little, not much more than you, but a little bit.
No,
okay,
do.
What's the Bobby Lee's wife, girlfriend?
Kalila.
Okay. They have a spin-off podcast. I forget the girl's name, Annie Letterman, and another one, and I forget the name of it, but they have this thing on Tuesday, Trash Tuesday, and I didn't watch it. I'm looking for it, but basically, in a nutshell, they called out Schwab. What?
Schaub.
Okay. Supposedly, he hit on Kalila and stuff like that, and they were kind of trashing him, and he took it. He got mad, and then supposedly he found some stuff on them, Bobby Lee,
on Reddit.
Well, you got to go look it up for yourself because it's kind of confusing.
There was some kind of a thread on Reddit about some kind of a child abuse situation, and people were making a lot of sick comments, and a lot of the comments were coming from Bobby Lee's IP address, his home. And this had been going on for like 6 years, and I guess Brendan Schaub is kind of the victim of a lot of threats and
they make fun of him
and stuff.
Yeah, they make fun of him because they don't think he's funny and stuff like that.
So anyway, so we got curious, and Bobby says it's not him, and they're going to investigate and yada yada. Okay, well, that's all conjecture. I don't know that it was Bobby or anything. But then Johnny started doing a little research into
I researched
Bobby's past. Go ahead and tell him what you found.
Well, I found a post on Reddit of him on a show.
Chris D'Elia?
No, it wasn't Chris D'Elia. It was supposedly the other guy. We don't know. Let's not even name names yet. But I think it was the Opie. I don't know.
Right.
But basically, he was telling a story about where was he again? He went.
I think he was in Tijuana.
Yeah. He was out there in Tijuana and stuff like that, and there was. I'll throw a little clip on, but basically he was talking about how he went into like this little ghetto area and where a lot of young women sell themselves, and he's telling it like it's true. And then they kind of went, but they didn't talk about this last night. They didn't mention any of it, but they were kind of talking about it around the whole thing. But basically,
very gross story.
Yeah, he told a story.
My opinion of him.
Yeah, he told a story about like walking through and looking at the women of who he would kind of
Bye.
by, and every woman was kind of putting herself out there. And girl, I shouldn't say woman, there were young girls, and he walked all past every one of them, and then he saw like way in the back in the corner there was a some girl with a her head, her whole body turned towards a wall, wasn't looking at anyone, and she turned around, and it was the one he wanted. Did he say she was crying? I don't. Well, no,
That
that was
was
the
that
later.
was during
Yeah, but
during the act, which I'm
basically,
sure anyone would cry.
the
And
story is that he brought this, you know, girl home or wherever the hell he was, and it turned out to be an underage girl, and she was crying.
and he went through with it anyway.
Anyway,
It
yeah,
was
and
really
whoever the fuck was
disgusting.
in the podcast with him was fucking
They were all
hooting and
laughing,
hollering and
and
laughing and found it to be
but
funny.
Kalila herself was like justifying it and making jokes about it and everything. And
Really?
she's
I didn't catch that part.
yeah, she's. I was
And we
just
used to
so
like
disappointed
her.
with
Yeah,
both of
fuck
them. Really gross.
Sick.
Well, I happened to catch a little piece of the other day. They were talking about abortion and stuff. And she's like, well, they're laughing about it. And she's like, well, I killed 2 of your kids. And I was like, wow, how gross. How is that funny? I don't know.
I know
Maybe I'm just older
we
now.
have,
And
a dark sense of humor, but there's a way. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
even
Maybe
understand.
I've changed. I was never really
Even
pro-abortion, but I don't know. To me, some things are just that's just not.
Well,
funny
you know me.
to me.
I kind of joke about anything, and I don't think I could ever say that.
Well, I mean, I remember fucking laughing my ass off about Stanhope's bit about abortion.
But that's great.
But it was genius. I'm sorry, it was hilarious the way he did it.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, it's kind of like, you could talk, you could joke about anything, but you have to know how.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a way to do it where it's super funny and kind of crazy, but like again funny. And then there's just other ways not everybody could tell that story.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. Anyway, a little.
Sorry, it got a little dark there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep an eye on that whole thing with the Bobby situation. He was very concerned that all of this coming out, yeah,
but
could ruin his career or whatever.
But within, I forget how many hours, over 1 million views.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think that's the most views he's ever gotten, or at least ever gotten in that small amount of time.
People love the beef.
But let's not even say beef.
It was very cringy to watch.
It's very cringy. And was that the plan? Are they that sick where they wanted to kind of talk about it? Because that's something like, okay, I was kind of on the fence. I'm like, wait a minute, but if that was really true, would you want to do a podcast about it? I mean, even have the chance of fucking it getting out there, and they kind of danced around it. Or was it like, this would be great? This would be great.
Well, the thing is that Brendan did not seem.
He was upset.
He was very upset, and he did not seem like he was doing it for any kind of publicity reason. He wanted to smooth things over with Bobby because he didn't like the way that he and Brian Callen handled letting them know. It got really ugly, and he seemed like he was genuinely ashamed of how he handled it. But at the same time, he says that there's a federal investigation into this whole Reddit situation, and he's got 300 files of proof and all this stuff, and it's like, this is some serious shit.
Yeah, and he was apologizing and stuff like that. And what's his name, Brian what?
Callen
from Mad, right? Mad TV, who was on after Bobby, right? But they apologized for him because they went online and kind of. It was Brian who went after Bobby the most, and I think he was just pretty much sticking up for Schwab. But that guy, he's a big friend of that other psycho, Chris D'Elia, or whatever the hell. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Yeah, he's
yeah, they're all fucked up.
got in trouble for going after a 14-year-old or something. I don't know. These
Oh,
guys, they
God.
need to get their shit together. They got too much. First of all, when you have that much to lose, you work that hard to build yourself, not only a reputation but a business. Kalila kept talking about how hard she's worked for 8 years to build
Oh,
that
and he was
business.
also he also accused her of stealing money from Bobby.
Yeah, he called her a gold digger, and I don't know. They were just saying a lot of stuff about each other that they shouldn't say, even whether you're friends or in a professional way. You just shouldn't do that stuff. But at the same time, if you got that much to lose, I couldn't believe Bobby told that disgusting story.
And it
It
doesn't
wasn't funny. It
no.
was horrible.
And it was like there was like they were in a room and they weren't like saying it like offline, like where nobody would hear this. They were talking like they were in the fucking,
Like it was nothing.
yeah.
And that was really gross and just totally changed my opinion of him. Of course, watching him on Mad TV and then watching Tiger
Yeah.
Belly, I lost a lot of my naive appreciation of him with some of this. They just get too gross and sexual and
Yeah, everything, and he's
and
yeah,
not funny about it. I don't know. It
and
just was.
supposedly he's big on just showing his penis to everybody.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Just
he's got a lot of sexual issues, and we overlook it because he is adorable. And
is he? Do you
if
really think he's a dog?
he's just cute. He's like a teddy bear kind of. Not as much
Pedo bear.
anymore. Well, yeah, but
I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess I'm just not into that kind of
I
humor
don't know,
that
but
they're into.
but
But
again, let's go back to culture real quick.
mm,
I brought this up to you, many times I think. But you remember, like growing up, well, the guys was is always like big to snag a virgin. What was up? But yeah,
yeah, that's got pedophile written all over it. If
right,
you ask
because it's
me.
like, okay, wait a minute. She's 16. No, sorry, she's 17 now, but at midnight she's going to be 18,
Yeah.
and she's a virgin. So it's like this
Well,
whole.
first of all, it's the dehumanizing of it to begin with. Just sexualizing a person for that only reason is not looking at the whole person, and that's just gross to me to begin with. But and they always push that. Kids get that from older kids and their parents and their fathers and their uncles. The whole, you know, you got to get yourself a virgin thing, and
I used to look.
it's just
I thought it
gross.
was more like it's like a protective thing or something like that. Like she's never had sex before, so she's safe, or he never, or
Well,
this, or
that's what they
he,
claim, but
whatever.
I think it's
I mean,
really they
men are
don't
virgins too,
they
right?
don't want a woman who has any sense of reference,
Yeah, but what
so that
about?
they can't compare how good or bad it turns out to be.
I mean, I've never has you're a woman, right?
So they tell me.
And you had girlfriends, right? Not that kind.
No, I'm not a
But
lesbian. Never have
did
been.
your girls ever sit around and go, "I want a guy who's a virgin"?
Well, hell no. But I
Because
don't know. We didn't.
yeah,
We didn't really talk about that stuff. I don't
huh.
know.
I never did either. We didn't either. I don't know. I mean, I'm still a virgin, and I have two kids. I don't know how that happened, but anyway,
You
I'm
need
just
to start asking some
yeah.
questions.
I don't even know if. Well, I don't know. But anyway, Joe, this was a kind of a
This was a weird
it was a
one.
weird one. You look very upset.
You wanted to get very serious.
You're real serious.
I just got mad when you wanted me to turn off all the lights. I hate that.
well,
I love lights.
yeah,
I like
but
keep the light on.
that fucking thing's flickering, man. Do you want me to have a seizure on the podcast?
That would be fun.
Seizure.
See you later.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think it's time to go. I'm sorry about
Yeah.
being so serious and stuff because you're like, I could see you're really high strung. You've been fucking playing with the wires and with your fingers.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
stressing me out.
Why?
I don't know.
I
Everything
should've-
is so serious.
I should have went to work today. Left you alone by the pool.
I need to go lay by the pool and think about life. or not?
Me too. Oh my God. This
Okay.
gotta work. This gotta work. Please subscribe.
Yes, please subscribe, like, follow us.
Bobby Lee, please.
Not literally.
Subscribe.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to score any points with any of the other podcasters today.
I don't think, like, they're not going to hear this.
Yeah, that's true.
God. That's when you start pissing people off.
Well, that's true. That's how you get put on the map.
Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the one. Anyway.
I don't want to get famous. To be honest, I was thinking about it when I was watching these guys last night, and I see the problems that they end up with, and
I don't want to go to Tijuana.
I don't like the idea of fame, really.
I don't either.
It makes me uncomfortable. I don't even like to be looked at or seen or,
Well, that's why we don't do video.
Yeah.
I don't fucking want anybody to know me.
I feel just a real sense of purpose, especially today after I was talking about earlier, my friend wanting to research. That just like, wow, great. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I care. And then with the way things turned out with Alex, I just could not be prouder. You fucking build careers. I'm so happy and proud of him, so that alone made it all worth it to me. But all I really want from this is to get people thinking about everything and not just just going with the flow and making these snap judgments, because things are getting really serious in the world. And if we don't all collectively decide what right and wrong really is and start living our lives by it, we're screwed, and we deserve to be screwed.
I want to rise up. I have a bad back.
Well, there are different ways to do it, and I guess this is my personal way.
My way is hiding in the house.
Feel like I'm,
can we please get a gun?
No. That's your fault. But anyway.
What the fuck does that mean?
Anyway, don't get any ideas, people.
I'm cutting that out.
I don't need a gun. Anything around me can be a weapon.
What you want to do, get a taser?
That was a joke, because I like the way they fall.
That is funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. I'd rather do that than shoot somebody.
Yeah,
shooting somebody is so dramatic.
I know, there's nothing funny about it. It's just gross and bloody.
Stabbing is even worse. You know what I mean? Because you got to get up and close. Die, motherfucker.
I know. It's really.
No, I want to stand about 10 feet back with the one with the wires and get them both in the nipples and see them fall on their face, and that's fun.
Stiff.
I would put signs on the fucking door. Please rob us.
Right?
Oh, that would be fun. Anyway.
Okay. On that note, thanks for listening, everybody. Please like and subscribe and share and talk about stuff that we talk about with your friends, and, just spread the awareness.
Buy a fucking coffee mug, man. No, I'm only kidding.
Wouldn't hurt if you bought them.
We sold 2 of them, right?
Yeah, I bought them. Those are me. You gotta have samples.
Anyway. We have a lot of samples.
Anyway, carry on, brethren.
Peace out. This was seriously fun.
Yeah.
I'm serious. By the way, I'm never being serious again, because that was
fun.
Thank
you. I'm all stressed out, but
why?
I'll get over it.
I gotta go by the pool.
I gotta do some day drinking today. Go pet the duck. Breaking open a bottle of wine.
Pet the duck.
Okay, gang. Thank you.
Good night.
Good day.